So the teaser for season 3 of Invincible just dropped, and there were some interesting things that were present in the trailer. And I thought that I should make a video pointing these things out, and also talking about what to expect as a whole for season 3. Because as it stands, there isn't a lot here to analyze. A large portion of the video was just dedicated to mocking certain things about season 2, like for example, Mark getting his ass handed to him by a bunch of Viltrumites, and never finding a way to win a single fight against them. Or even as far as to break the fourth wall like they're Deadpool and show certain aspects like the scripts, the art panels, the voice actor behind Mark, etc, etc. Which we will get into in a second, because one of the things they showed behind the scenes will play a huge role in the story moving forward. But speaking about the Viltrumites that consistently beats Mark's ass over and over and over again, Cecil mentions Anissa. And if you're a comic book reader, then I don't need to tell you that she will play a huge role in the things to come. And don't forget that she also threatened Mark with the coming of another Viltrumite that will be even far worse, and I won't spoil who that is, but we have seen glimpses of him in certain flashbacks. That's all I'll say. By the way, a little side note here, I find it kind of cute that Mark asks Cecil, how much does it cost you to teleport, and isn't that taxpayer dollars? And Cecil responds with, oh, well, do you know the gross economic output of Liechtenstein? Well, I didn't. I looked that up, and it is $7.36 billion. So, I don't know if that's going to be consistent throughout the show, but I guess we have a little bit of a value estimate of how much it's going to cost him to teleport every single time. Last quick side note here, we see certain characters in the background of this restaurant, some that we know, like young Rex, or most likely Robot, and on the other side, certain characters that we don't know. And I won't spoil anything, but most likely this character has something to do with this poster. But it's time to get into, in my opinion, the biggest piece of information that was in this entire trailer, and that is Mark's new blue and black Invincible suit. Now, for the people who've not read the comics, I don't want to go into detail, I don't want to spoil you guys, but if you are just show watchers, throughout season 1, Mark has a very simplistic understanding of violence and how to use it as a superhero to save lives. Throughout season 2, this notion is completely challenged by the opponents Mark consistently fights, specifically Viltrumites. They utilize violence in a different way, specifically not to incapacitate people, but to kill people. And Mark has to use violence in a different way to not only save his life, but to save plenty of other lives. And he's not really comfortable using violence in that way. He's afraid of the direct parallels between him and his father, and he doesn't want to be that. He wants to be better, but it isn't just as simple as that. And Mark is slowly understanding this as time moves on. And with season 3 around the corner, this suit will represent that. It will represent his transition from season 1 to now. By the way, another really small input here. I find it really cute, the bottom right corner, the art style that they chose. And not to mention, Mark is designing a costume for Adam Eve, so we might even see a costume change for her as well, which would be kind of cool. It will also be interesting to see how Mark and Eve's relationship will develop throughout the next season, especially due to how the last season ended with Mark realizing Eve's feelings towards him. And most likely, we're going to see a push and pull with their relationship, as Mark is not really ready to love someone yet, with all the danger that's around him and now his family, as we saw with Anstrom. And speaking of Anstrom, I don't know if it's going to be season 3 or future seasons down the line, but you bet your ass we are going to see the alternate reality Marks come back, because they're not going to just drop that plot line, I promise you that. And the last little side note I want to mention before the final big thing is the very first frame we see a popularity contest, or specifically a hotness contest of Invincible characters, which Omni-Man is the top voted one, which, come on, it's J.K. Simmons, of course he's the fucking top one. And the reason why I want to mention this, and most likely I'm reading too much into this since it is just a teaser trailer, but either way, I think they're going to include this whether I am or not. I think they're going to show extensive amount of character development, just like they did in season 2, for Omni-Man in season 3. We are definitely going to see his progression of his humanity, him finding empathy for lower life forms. Okay, last thing I want to mention, and I know this video is a little bit everywhere, but I'm just kind of pouring my thoughts on the trailer, nothing really specific. The last thing I want to mention is the final frame, where we get a release date, and thank God, the biggest information, no mid-season breaks. Holy shit, thank you. I swear to God, I barely knew when the second part of Invincible Season 2 was going to drop. I don't understand why people make long breaks like that intentionally. I understand if there's some type of emergency in the animation studio or whatever. I get that. Some breaks are needed. We see that with shows all the time. But having that formatted like that on purpose, I just don't understand why you would do that. You just kill the hype for your own show. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to break down on the trailer. There's not a lot here, but I'm very excited moving forward. Invincible is one of my favorite shows, and I think it's one of the best shows out right now. But thank you so much for watching. Comment below what I should do next. I could do shows, anime, movies, games, whatever. But again, thank you so much for watching.